Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome you back to the beautiful world of Arndoras. This is the recap for session 2 of our campaign, and I hope you are all excited for where the story is going to take us next. Last we left off, the party was floating towards shore after their ship was destroyed against the Teeth, a grouping of sharp rocks bordering the northwest side of the continent. We jump back in as the party wakes up having washed upon shore and notices one of the sailors is still holding onto life, but is foaming at the mouth, and when asked what happened, the sailor's last word was poison, which the party was already aware of due to the captain's death. As the party surveys the beach, they find several barrels strewn across the sand and a chest floating a ways offshore. The party takes multiple attempts to retrieve it. Ammon and Rell both attempt to swim out, but are too tired and must return. Augustus attempts to shoot his grappling hook to reel it in, but also fails. Finally, Korrak, tied off with a rope, is able to swim out and retrieve the chest from the waves, and is pulled back to shore. The rest of the party gathers the supplies from around the beach. Between the chest from the ocean and the barrels on shore, the party finds 4 potions of healing, 10 rations, a short sword, Edgar's signet ring, 2 empty vials, 50 feet of silken rope, a bell, a hand crossbow, a mirror, and various amounts of gold and silver. Korrak also unwraps the leather cloth taken from the ship to reveal it is indeed the dragon orb. With the supplies gathered, the party then start to explore the beach looking for a way to move inland. Realizing that the sheer cliffs behind them have no way to be scaled, the party wanders down the beach until they come across a cave entrance within the cliff wall. Augustus notices a water line on the surrounding rocks for where he believes high tide will reach. The party check for any air current coming from the entrance, and a slight breeze is felt coming out of the cave, along with the smell of decay. Fearing the beach will be underwater during high tide, the party decide to take their chances in the cave to hopefully find a way off the beach and move inland. Once inside, the party presses on until they come across an alcove large enough to set up camp for the night. Before going to bed, Ammon uses the silken rope and the bell to create a makeshift tripwire so they'll be alerted to anything coming from deeper within the cave. As sleep shifts start, most of the night goes by without incident. However, during Ammon's watch, the bell does start to ring, and he rouses the other party members only to discover a small mouse is playing with the bell. Rell instantly tries to befriend it and pick it up, looking for somewhere to keep it, but the party have no containers to keep it in that won't kill it, and the mouse ends up biting her hand and runs off back into the cave. The party gets a full night's rest, and the level of exhaustion that was given for jumping from the crashing ship and washing upon shore is removed. As they make their way forward into the cave, it begins to get darker and darker, and Augustus is having issues seeing, as he is the only member of the party without dark vision. To assist Augustus and the rest of the party, Rell casts the spell Light and sets its placement on Korrak's butt, giving him the nickname Firefly. Their path widens out into a larger chamber within the cave, and it is filled with a wall of webs. Rell, being wary, casts Sacred Flame to burn away the webs. While they are burning, 4 large spiders who had been hidden in the shadows of the ceiling descend upon the party, and the group jumps into action. Korrak starts out the fight right away, swinging into the first spider with his axe and splitting it in 2. Augustus begins shooting out with his crossbow, but misses the spider, his bolt going wide off target. Rell then attacks and hits another spider for decent damage, and on Ammon's turn, he swings into a spider but misses, and the spider retaliates, biting Ammon and poisoning him. Another spider bites into him, and the poison becomes a paralysis, and he is out of the fight for 1 hour, as the rest of the party continues to fight on. Just as the party is finishing off the last of the spiders, an enormous mother spider comes down from the ceiling, ready to avenge its young. As the party go to work on the mother, Korrak lands the final attack with a smashing blow with his axe, ending its life. After the fight, Korrak picks up Ammon and carries him over to where the others are setting up a small camp at the far end of the chamber to give him time to heal. Korrak makes a joke about how Rell is weak and lucky she did not get hit by a spider, as when he hit her on the ship and she went down in one attack. Rell's face becomes furious, but she does not respond. Once they have caught their breath and Ammon is back on his feet, the party then looks at their next way forward and sees 3 tunnels at the head of the chamber. The party investigates each tunnel for airflow, and all of the entrances seem to keep the same airflow as before. The party is very aware that this is some sort of puzzle, and Rell uses light on a few decent-sized stones and throws one down the left tunnel. The party watches as the light goes down the tunnel and hear it ricochet off of the wall and see a small light flickering into the middle entrance. They do the same again down the right tunnel and see the same with the light flickering in the middle tunnel. They finally decide that they will go down the middle tunnel as it seems to fall into each other, and they end up standing at the foot of a bridge over a large underground lake. As they slowly make their way across the bridge and reach the other side, the party finally see the exit and the sky beyond, when the same black-cloaked figure from the ship shows himself blocking their exit. He looks down at the party and speaks out.
So, you're still alive. That is unfortunate.
He turns to walk away, and Agustus tries to level a shot off, but it goes wide as the change from total darkness of the cave to the bright light from the opening is blinding his shot. As the party make their way up the steep slope of the cave to get out, the party is temporarily blinded by the light of the sun after spending a day and a half inside. The grass beneath their feet gently slopes to reveal that they are standing at the edge of a large, magnificent forest. Off in the distance, they can see the peak of the Elven Citadel, the location of the other dragon orb. As the group makes their way towards the forest edge and down a path, it brings them close to a small cottage with a thatched roof and a small picket fence around the backyard. Outside, an old man is wrapped in a green cloak, sitting on a log bench and smoking a pipe. He has not yet noticed the party coming in his direction. Ammon is the first to greet the old man, asking where they are. He introduces himself as Deckard and that they are in the Silverwood of the Ancients, also known as Silverale, and that they should avoid the cave to the north as it is filled with spiders. Korrak explains that they just came from the cave at the north and have killed the spiders inside. This intrigues Deckard, and he asks if they would be willing to help him find his missing friend. The party settles in, and Rell goes to the backyard and notices a strange stone behind the cottage. It stands upright in the middle of the backyard with a decent-sized hole in the middle of it. Ammon and Agustus settle inside, with Ammon looking out the back window, keeping an eye on his companions. Korrak follows behind Rell and makes another joke about how strong he is and how weak Rell is. This infuriates Rell, who finally snaps, screaming and attacking Korrak with a guiding bolt, dealing significant damage. Korrak is on the ground unconscious as Ammon rushes out the back door and uses lay on hands to bring him back. Korrak then gets up and is furious and starts to walk towards Rell. Agustus runs outside to help calm everyone down, and Ammon gets in between Rell and Korrak and says to leave it alone and to not keep going. Korrak stands face to face with Ammon and then walks in the opposite direction and straight through the picket fence, destroying that section. Ammon calls out for Agustus to follow Korrak so they don't lose him, or worse. He then turns to Rell and gets angry at her for openly attacking a member of their team. She retorts that he attacked her first, and Ammon counters that he didn't hit her on purpose the first time and to let it go. She gets angry again and goes to be alone in the cottage. Ammon starts to repair the fence that Korrak destroyed, while Deckard looks on in horror, wondering what kind of chaos he has brought to his home. As Korrak storms down the path and away from the cottage, Agustus is following behind, hurriedly dropping ball bearings to mark their way back, trying to get Korrak to return to the group. As they come to a fork in the path, one leading to the left and one leading to the right, Korrak takes the right path, and as he goes around the bend, he winds up right back at the cottage where he finds a patch of grass off to the side in the garden and sits down to be alone. Agustus makes his way back to gather his ball bearings and goes back into the cottage with the rest of the group. Now that night has officially fallen, the party start to settle in and get some rest. During the night, Ammon, being concerned with Rell's emotional outburst, goes over to her and wakes her, asking if she wants some help venting her frustrations. He takes her outside into the garden, where he wraps their weapons to protect themselves and begins to spar with her, telling her to let her frustrations out on him. As they begin to spar, Rell's swings get more and more frantic until she drops to her knees in tears. Ammon puts a hand on her shoulder and she explains that she is more frustrated with herself than at Korrak, as she doesn't remember who she is and it all became too much for her. Ammon consoles her and they head back inside, not knowing that their sparring had woken Korrak in the garden and he overheard everything that was said. In the morning, the party wakes up to Deckard, who has made them breakfast. A lot of bacon, eggs, and hash. Korrak enters from outside and sits down, asking for ale with his breakfast. As they eat, Deckard explains that the friend he is asking them to find is a friendly bear named Rollo. He has gone missing for the past 3 days, and Deckard is too old to go looking for him in the forest. He pulls out a map and shows them where he believes he might have gone. The party leaves, promising to find him, and make their way through the forest. After a while, they come across a small alcove tucked away, and inside they find a group of skeletons attacking Rollo, who is backed into a corner and looks to be in very rough shape. The party swings into motion, and Agustus fires off his crossbow, hitting one of the skeletons, while Korrak, Ammon, and Rell move into melee with the others. After several rounds of combat, they are able to defeat the skeletons and are now standing alone in a cave with a very defensive bear. Ammon calls out to Rollo by name and tells him that Deckard sent them to come help. The bear then passes Ammon and goes over to Rell, who smells the scent of Deckard and the cottage on her, begins to lick her all over her face. The party then head back with Rollo in tow and reach the cottage again. Upon their return, the party finds Deckard standing in the garden next to the stone. As Rollo walks over to the rock, he places a yellow gem from his mouth into the hole and he vanishes. Deckard explains that the rock is known as the Shrine of the Familiar, and if the party ever befriends an animal, we can bring it back to the shrine and it will become a familiar. With the return of Rollo, the party levels up, increasing their HP and gaining access to a few new abilities. The party packs up and leaves Deckard, thanking him for his hospitality and apologizing for the inconvenience. Deckard thanks the party by gifting them a map of the area, a bag of holding, the handy haversack, and the quiver of Elhona, which provides Augustus with unlimited crossbow bolts. The party sets off down the path again, making their way towards the city. The party travels into the night and it becomes pitch black. Korrak is leading the way, holding out a torch for light as they travel along in silence. The party is stopped in their tracks as a pack of wolves is standing in the middle of the path. The party freezes and Korrak throws his torch towards the pack, scaring it off. With the wolves gone, the party decides to make camp, with nothing of consequence happening overnight. Rell and Agustus wake in the morning and go hunting for food, and they come across a pigeon, kill it, and prepare it for breakfast for the party. As they set out again, they cross paths with a priestess named Windy Everfaith, who tells the party that the city is about a 2 days' journey by foot. The party asks where she's traveling to, and she explains that she is traveling to a crypt to get news from an adventuring party she hired to clear the crypt of undead. She advised them that a cloaked man had entered the crypt a few days ago, and since then there have been undead in the crypt. Then he left and headed towards the city. Hearing that the cloaked man had been inside the crypt, the party decided to travel with the priestess to inspect the crypt to see what he was doing inside. As the party accompanies Windy to the crypt, that is where this session comes to an end, with the party standing outside of the crypt with Windy. So once again, I want to thank everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this session 2 recap. I will say this was a bit of an emotional session, and it was acted beautifully at the table. I hope you guys do come back for the 3rd recap that is coming soon, as the party delves into the crypt to see what happened to the previous group of adventurers, and to see what the cloaked figure was doing inside. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to keep up to date with our adventures. I hope everyone has a great day, and I will see you guys next time.